Hey guys, welcome to this episode. And in this episode, we're going to be reacting to can body positive and fitness enthusiasts find middle ground? Massive topic. So if you're new here, my name is Jonathan. I'm a dietitian that supports people who are struggling with binge eating. And let's get straight to it.
In an effort to not have challenging conversations in this day and age, it's like, well, you do you, like whatever's best for you. But then what if best for you is actually harmful to yourself and or others?
Interesting. I love how they always start these videos with probably the meat of the topic. So let's get started.
On that left pool of light, can I have my body positive votes? On the right pool of light, I'll have my fitness enthusiasts. Remember to not step forward unless the stage is you. My health is a top priority in my life.
Okay, so I'm kind of glad everyone stepped forward. That reassures me, because if some people actually stayed at the back and said it's not their priority, I'd be a bit worried.
And I've been on both ends of the spectrum, and damn, it's very different to now being really focused on the mind, body, and soul, and really having all parts just as equal as the others.
For me, I am a cancer survivor, and so my entire life now is about making sure that I have a life, to continue. So
Yeah, I was diagnosed with lymphedema at age 3, which affects the circulation for me through my legs and feet. So health for me has always been at the top of my mind, because if I don't take care of my body, I could have an amputated foot or leg.
All of my family almost has suffered from diabetes, heart disease, and stuff like that. So that's why I'm extra conscious about my health.
I have a regular workout routine.
I've been working out consistently since I was 19 years old. I used to work out 2 hours a day, but then I realized it's way too long. So now my workout sessions with weights are about 45 minutes.
So I personally used to work out for 1 hour and 45 minutes. I used to have this routine, push-pull legs. But with my push, I would have 3 exercises for chest, 3 exercises for shoulders, 3 exercises for triceps. And I realized, okay, this is quite I really got into it in university, because I really enjoyed working out and I had lots of free time after lectures, especially when you have 4 hours of lectures a day. You have so much free time. But now working, you just realize 1 hour and 45 minutes is so unrealistic. So I'm not surprised why this guy decreased his workouts from 2 hours to 45 minutes.
And then the rest is stretching and cardio. And I spend a lot of time stretching because it allows me to get in the zone, kind of like a meditation of sorts.
It's all mental. I go to the gym or work out or do something kind for my body in forms of movement every day, because it keeps me sane. If I don't go there, then I feel like something's missing.
We need to realize that when we talk about exercise, we're probably trying to relate this to physical activity, because you don't have a regular workout routine doesn't mean you're not fit. You don't have to go do bench press or squats or deadlifts to say you have a regular workout regime. We need to focus on physical activity. You can be walking your dog several times a week, and that's already physical activity. You might be getting more cardio than you ever will compared to someone who's a bodybuilder and never does cardio. So there are different ways of getting exercise, or what I like to prefer to call physical activity.
A little bit depressed.
absolutely.
Singing all by myself back there. I was going to the gym regularly every day for 6 months, and then my life shifted. I lost my father. A lot of things happened in my life that threw off my whole routine. And so the point when I was going to the gym so regularly, I felt my brain felt happier. I've gotten that feeling back in other ways. I have no desire in me to change my body in any way. I like when my butt gets a little bigger. I agree with you on that one.
Not at all.
See, this is where we're gonna get, because I will tell you, not every big person wants to be small.
So we need to realize that with exercise, it is a routine. And when his father passed away, correct me if I heard that wrong, but sometimes certain things can pull our routines away, and it's all about priority. And just because you don't exercise doesn't mean that you won't exercise ever again. Just might mean that at the moment it's not a current priority in life. Maybe you need to focus on coping with other ways, because going to the gym or exercising can be also a coping mechanism for stress. You always hear people who just go to the gym because it helps their depression, improves their mental health. But this guy whose father just passed away, maybe he had to focus on other coping mechanisms, because going to the gym might have reminded him of his father or something like that.
I am conscious about what I eat.
My mom had me in Weight Watchers in junior high. Like, so my relationship with food and what I'm putting into my body has been like completely, can we curse, fucked up, like since the very beginning.
I've had a severe sugar addiction since I was a kid.
And it, like the binge eating, like it makes you feel like everything, I can't have this is the enemy. So when I see it and I can have it, I'm like, oh, I want to eat it all.
Every day I wake up, I have a green smoothie. I'm always very conscious of like what I'm putting into me, which I think is, I'm just gonna say the controversial statement, I think is something that people would never think is true based off the size of my body.
There's so much studies that are coming out, like in terms of like your microbiome, like the microbiome that you have, like you can literally eat green smoothies and eat like everything you're supposed to be eating and not lose the weight because you have an imbalance in your microbiome. And then people who are thin, they're just really thin, but they eat McDonald's every day.
Actually, that is true. Just because you take part in healthy behaviors, like the guy who was just having green smoothies for his breakfast, he might be at a higher BMI range, but maybe his gut microbiome might be much, much healthier than someone who eats McDonald's, like the lady said. Also, did you know that, as a little note, that some people actually sell their poop who have a very, very healthy gut microbiome, and they can actually make money out of it and even sell it. But you have to be at the top end. You probably have to be like a marathon runner, eat 20 fruit and veg a day, very, very high-end poop, essentially.
What they don't realize is how much they're clogging their arteries, and they die of heart attacks more than quote-unquote big people.
I received negative feedback about my body growing up.
I would have people, like some family members be like, oh, you look a little heavier than you did last year, and then other family members that were a lot more direct, like, when are you gonna lose the weight? And it's been like that, I would say, my whole life, and then we got to a point where I was getting compared to my little sister who's like beautiful and thin, and it's like, it is so hard not to compare yourself to other people. It is so hard to have a healthy relationship with food and with fitness and just with other people, and it became so difficult to break out of that and to really love who I am inside.
Sure.
You know what they say, comparison is the thief of joy. And so I have a twin brother, and we're not identical twins, we're fraternal twins, which basically means we're brothers that are born on the same day, but we don't look the same. We used to be compared a lot, especially since he was the much, much smarter one. He was always in the star section of his class, and I was like in the average section of the class, and he was mega, mega smart with math and other things. So comparison can really, really affect you mentally. But that's only if you frame it that way, because when we went to university, well, I went to university, he started working as a junior web developer, then we started to develop our own friendship groups. We're not like enclosed into a box. So comparison could be the thief of joy, but don't try to like box yourself into it if you live with like brothers or like loved ones who are just living with you and you feel a bit anxious about a certain thing.
My stepmom would take like, if I had a wrapper of chips like in my room, like she would put it on top of like my dresser and say like, I'm not the reason why you're fat, this is.
I'm from Texas. We all eat soul food. So everybody was eating the same shit food. So my mom, 250 pounds, my brother, 350 pounds. But I saw that I was eating the exact same foods, and I didn't even know until I got around Los Angeles health conscious people. I'm like, what? Wait, you mean to tell me you don't have freaking bacon cheeseburger every single day? I didn't know.
So like when you got to LA, what triggered it in your head that said, oh, this to me is the right way for me to look
I
now?
wanted to be a model.
The idea that you wanted to become a model, and the only idea of model to you meant being thin or fit or whatever that means.
Yeah, that's all I saw, because it wasn't as popular. Like plus size wasn't popular back then when I was 18 years old.
Plus size is definitely not
but
popular.
But it still opened up way more than it was when I was 18.
The conversation, I will say, is much more broad now. I feel like we're able to talk about these things a lot easier now than we were before. But what the actual way that the industry treats plus size models is totally different.
Sometimes people use being body positive as an excuse not to take care of it.
Want to hear about this?
This question makes me very passionate. This is really big for me because I've been like come for from other body positive influencers.
Okay, this could be a bit mean, but I can't stop thinking about it. I keep on noticing the guys' sweaty armpits, and I'm only saying that because I used to really struggle with that, especially when I lived in the Philippines. So if I was there, I would be also having sweaty armpits because I'd feel very nervous, especially when there's a camera in front of you where like millions of people would be watching Jubilee.
But I feel like that messages other people put out are very dangerous to a young woman who thinks that it's okay. I don't care what size you are, it's not okay to sit and eat cheeseburgers and ice cream all day. Like,
I think there's a difference between acceptance and agreement. So like you can accept your body and be in disagreement with the health situation that you have.
Fit experts always saying, be skinny, lose weight. That's the healthy way to do it.
like, how
but
could
we
you
never
love your
say,
body if you're fat?
At least we don't say, be fat because it's better for your heart. It's better for your soul. It's better for your, you know what I mean?
Honestly, even what you just said, like body acceptance versus body agreement, like to you, you might see one of us and be like, oh, they accept their bodies, but I'm sure they don't agree with what it looks like.
I mean, I wouldn't know unless I talked with someone, but like, whatever the number, like whatever like is coming up in terms of like, you know, when you go to the doctor, like at the end of the day.
No, let's not even
But
start.
even better, as fit people, when you see a person who is overweight or fat or obese, however you want, whatever term you want to use, what's the first thing that happens in your head? Do you think like, oh, like it's great that they accept themselves, but they could use to lose weight? Or what is your first thought when you see something?
My very first thought, no one's like born that way. So you like there's habits and things that you observe
But
from
you actually can
childhood.
be.
So I kind of disagree with that. So like technically people can be born that way. There are so many things that dictate your body weight. Your genes could cause you to eat a little more than usual, not really listen to your hunger cues. There's even this thing, probably not as relevant to this talk, but there's this thing called Prader-Willi syndrome. So Prader-Willi syndrome is where you grow up and then you can't really feel you recognize your hunger cues. You just keep on eating and eating and eating. That's one of the many genes that can cause you to be overweight or obese category.
Can be born with that.
Say, like, we could eat the exact same thing and be two different people.
It could be how you're raised, parenting and stuff like that. I didn't really know what to expect today. I didn't know how the body positive individuals were going to come across. I didn't know if they were for a healthy lifestyle or not, but I think it's beautiful that you guys acknowledge how important it is to keep yourself healthy.
There's a study by Madsen et al. Where there is truth, you can be metabolically healthy. If you're overweight or obese, you can be metabolically healthy. If you focus on these 4 habits, so including 5 fruit and veg a day, increasing physical activity, avoiding smoking and avoiding alcohol. If you focus on all of these, even though you're overweight or obese, you're much more healthier metabolically. By metabolically, I'm talking about cholesterol, blood sugars, heart health, blood pressure, and all those kinds of things, than someone who is underweight, who drinks, smokes, takes drugs, and doesn't participate in like much healthy eating behavior, such as very little fruit and veg, eating McDonald's, like the lady said.
Do I feel like there are people in the body positive community that say, well, I'm just happy being fat and I'm just gonna lay down and just do that? Absolutely. Fat pride, #fat pride was something that was going on for a little while.
Just body positivity in general has become a big buzzword that everyone just throws out.
You said something at some point that body positivity and like health and stuff is different. Like, is that what everybody thinks?
The actual body positive community was created to give a platform to bodies that have been marginalized in our society.
Right.
That's what it was actually created for.
Which means
big bodies, disabilities,
super skinny bodies, anything.
Different races. And I want to scream because I'm like, actually, this is not meant for you. This is meant for bodies who don't have a voice.
So, I don't know about this. So she's saying like body positivity is for bigger bodies, for skinnier bodies, but at the same time she's saying this to the people in front of her, like it's not for you, even though you're a bit more muscular and you're on the skinnier side. She's saying body positivity is for everyone except you guys, because you're muscular.
The fitness community is the reason why the body positive community exists, and I think that as a community, it's important for you guys to be a little bit more inclusive.
I just want to say about that, the fitness community can be one of the most supportive communities if you're around the right people. You will find in the gym, like one of the most, because the first time I went to the gym, I didn't even know what to do, and I was in this gym called Old Iron Works, and they had like lots of iron. The gym plates are like pure iron, rusted iron. It's not your typical commercial gym with like plastic plates. I was really nervous. I was like fiddling around with the ropes, and I was thinking, oh, this person's gonna judge me. This person's gonna like shove me out the way because I'm taking too long. I was trying to do a tricep extension, and then the person said, oh, would you need any help over there? And he actually taught me how to do it properly with the right form. And then he said, after that. Would you, if ever you need any help or any questions, just feel free to approach me. I'm right over there by the bench if you have any questions. And that's what hooked me into the gym, the community. There are some people who can be quite mean, could have like roid rage, all those kinds of things. But there are most of the time, people who are extremely supportive. The reason why is because they know what it's like to be there. They know what it's like to start from the start. Everyone started from somewhere. So we can't just say like body positivity is for everyone except the fitness people, because you're the ones who actually started shaming everyone. We can't put one subset of people and then say, okay, you caused all of this. The same way that we can't say that all body positivity people are not focusing on their health. There's a range of people. As long as you love each other, support each other, and remember that focusing on health behaviors rather than your weight, then we can find middle ground. So I hope you enjoyed this reaction, and comment below any videos you'd like me to react on. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.